How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Falcon's Media Corner back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw. This time for this new episode for the series is going to be my review on the 2024 post-apocalyptic action film, and this is the fifth entry to the series, while also being a spin-off slash prequel to the series as well, and that is Furiosa and Mad Max Saga. Now, this is the latest entry to the Mad Max series, and this was directed by George Miller, who directed the previous four films. And in this film, as the world fell, a young Furiosa, who's played by Anya Taylor-Joy, is snatched from the green place of many mothers, and falls into the hands of a great biker horde, led by the warlord Dementus, played by Chris Hemsworth. And sweeping through the wasteland, they come across the citadel presided over the Immortan Joe, and while the two tyrants war for dominance, Furiosa must survive many trials as she puts together the means to find her way home. So that's pretty much the story of Furiosa and Mad Max Saga. Now, when it comes to the Mad Max franchise, I am a fan of this franchise myself. I love the original film from 1979, and I also love the sequel as well, The Road Warrior. And the third film, Beyond the Thunderdome, I thought that one was great, although not as good as the first two Mad Max movies, but it was still a really great fun entry to the series. And the last film that we did get, which was of course Fury Road, that was one of my favorite films of 2015, and I had a blast with that movie. That movie was such a fun, wild roller coaster ride of a movie filled with absolute madness, no pun intended. And so when I heard we were going to get a new entry to this franchise, and it was going to be a spin-off slash prequel, which for that it was going to be on focusing one of the characters from the last film, I was really excited to see what George Miller was going to be bringing out with this movie, in which we get to see a younger version of Furiosa in this film, which, as I said, she's played by Anya Taylor-Joy, and I was really excited to see what she was going to do for this movie, as well as with Chris Hemsworth, who's also going to be in this movie as well. And this film came out on the 24th of May of this year, which I did see this on opening day, which this came out along with the Garfield movie, which I went to see that film the next day. So I saw this movie the day it came out, in the big screen with a fair amount of people in it. And after watching this whole movie here, I can definitely tell you guys that George Miller did not disappoint me here with this movie here, because I overall had a blast with Furiosa. This was definitely another fun, wild roller coaster ride of a movie filled with madness here, just like the last film here. For the overall origin story of Furiosa in this movie, I actually found it to be very endearing throughout the whole film, through her character depth that she has through in the film, through her arc that she has, as well as with her adventure that she goes through in the film. And I thought Anya Taylor-Joy was absolutely terrific in the film, and yet she's also a badass in the movie as well. And while she doesn't have like a whole lot of screen time in the film, as well as having much dialogue, but still though, I thought she had enough for a character in the film through her depth that she has through in the film here. And the movie does focus on other characters in this film. Like, you've got Chris Hemsworth as Dementus, and I thought he was really entertaining in the movie. And you have Immortan Joe returning in the film, and I thought he was great as well. And as for the film's pacing, and while despite the film being the longest in the series, because this is 2 hours and 28 minutes, I kind of felt the first few minutes of this film were a bit draggy, but the film never manages to make any of the scene in the film to be flat out boring or anything, because I thought the film's pacing was pretty smooth here. And as for the action scenes, they were, of course, very exciting, and yeah, an absolute blast from the amount of car chases that we do see in the film here, which I thought those moments were very well directed by George Miller for his directing style that he was able to put into this film. And the effects in the film I thought were very impressive, with the amounts of CGI and practical effects that we do see in the film here. And even like the makeup as well, I thought was absolutely outstanding here as well. And there are times when the film does use green screen, and I kind of felt that was a bit of a nitpick for me, because the green screen was a bit iffy in a few scenes, but still though, the effects for the most part were very impressive here. So overall, in the end, guys, Furiosa and Mad Max Saga was truly an awesome spin-off to the series here. And if you're overall a huge fan of this franchise, or you're a fan of like the last film, or even director George Miller, or any of the stars of the film like Anya Taylor-Joy or Chris Hemsworth, this is definitely a popcorn treat you don't want to miss out for yourselves here. So that's pretty much all to say about Furiosa and Mad Max Saga. I'm going to give Furiosa and Mad Max Saga 4.5 out of 5. Like I said before, this movie was indeed an absolute blast, and this is definitely another one in this entry that I can consider being another fun, wild roller coaster ride of a movie filled with absolute madness since the last film here as well. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching for my AK After I Saw review on Furiosa and Mad Max Saga. And let me know what you think of this new entry to the series, if you have seen this already or if you just recently checked this out. Did you have a pure blast with this, or were you majorly disappointed with this one? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and this has been Falcon's Media Corner signing off.